Hi guys, so this is my analysis on Bitcoin. If you watched my previous analysis on Bitcoin, I said because there was a break of structure around this area, so I'm expecting a possible move to the downside, so around this level right here. So that's what I'm expecting on Bitcoin, and you can see right here Bitcoin has broke structure. So what am I expecting right now? Let me zoom in a little bit. If you see right at this level right here, there is an imbalance around this level that we can see around this level right here. So I'm expecting a bit of retest around that level, and we can see currently Bitcoin retested that level around this level right here. So let's see. So we can see Bitcoin retested that level right here. So am I expecting more? I'm expecting more of a down move around that area. So let's see, and we can see it has been creating more of a lower high, a lower high, a lower high around that level. So I'm expecting a bit of continuation to the downside to my levels right here, which is, so I'm expecting it to at least get to my targets right here. So these are my targets currently as of right now. This level right here, 25-ish, around this level right here as well, 24-ish area. But I'm still thinking there's a possibility that we might push down to this level right here, and we can see, and my reason is because to touch the trend line is the first reason, and my second reason is because we can see there was a break of structure around this area right here, and it hasn't retested the area yet. So I'm expecting a possible retest around that area, which might lead us around this area to touch the trend line. So that is just my quick analysis on Bitcoin and what I think will happen. So I'm still expecting Bitcoin to at least put around 25,000 or 24,000 down to at least this trend line right at this level here to touch this trend line. So that's also a possibility. So we can see a touch of trend line and a retest as well. A retest, zone retest as well. So that's just what I'm thinking on BTC. So now I'm going to analyze Solana. Let's see what Solana is giving. So this is analysis on Solana. What am I expecting on Solana? If you watched my previous video on Solana, I said I'm expecting Solana to drop down to this level right here. Let me shift a little bit. I think it was around this level, and I said I'm expecting it to drop a little bit right there, and my reason is because there is an imbalance right at that level, and it's around my negative 27%. So I'm expecting it to at least push up a little bit and drop down to the downside. So that was just my initial thoughts on Solana, but I had two initial reasons on Solana, right? Because as you can see, I can draw a trend line right at this level right here to give us that we are continuing on an uptrend. So as long as we don't break this trend line right here, there's a possibility that we'll still continue to move to the upside, because overall I can see an impulse, a correction phase, and a continual to this target around this my negative 27% fib level, which is around 32.31, around that part. So I was expecting it to at least push up to that extent, but I had two scenarios, and you can see my first scenario was we are around this level that we might drop down to retest this trend line, because there was a break of structure, there was a break of trend line around this right. And I was saying there's a possibility we might come down here to retest that trend line before we continue to the upside. That was my first initial analysis, and my second analysis is that we can see right at this level right here, there's a possibility that we might complete an a downtrend move before we continue to push to the downside. So it was like an impulse right here, a continuation, an impulse right there, a correction, a continuation to around this level right here, which is around my negative 27% fib level, which is around 12, right? We might get there before we now continue to push up to my overall target, which is around this level right here, negative 27%. So that was just my initial thought on it, and let's see how that is going to play out to see as long as if we break this structure right here and the trend line, right, there was a kind of a break of trend line right at this level right here. I can readjust it to just So there was like let me read. Okay, so we can see right here, we can call this like a break of structure around this area, because if I extend the trend line, we can see it cut off the trend line, but it didn't cut it sufficiently enough. So we don't have a lot of momentum that actually break the trend line for us to think we're going on the downside. So I still see it as probably a fake out until we break it really well to say. So I'll prefer it to see maybe we are going to get to at least this my target right at this level right here, which is like negative 27% level. To get to that extent, I will be thinking that we should break this structure right here. If we break structure right at this level right here, come down and break that structure, right, and we see a possible retest on the trend line, so that gives us more possibility that we might push down to this before we now continue to the upside as I predicted. But like I said, let's see how the market clears out and see what next. But as of right now, we're still on an uptrend, so if we continue to break structure, there's a possibility that we might get to around this my target right at that level. So that's just what I thought. That's just my thought on Solana. So we just have to watch and see what next. So we have to see how the price action goes. So if we break the structure right here, see more of like a lower high around this level by retesting this break of trend line, then there's a possibility we go here. And if we break structure around this level and I see more of like an higher high just like this to continue on higher high, break structure, then there's a possibility we'll get to my level right at this area. So that's just my overall scenario. So let's see how that plays out. So if you enjoy my analysis, guys, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment, and I'll see you in my next analysis.